Only 3 games remain in 2025 with a home World Cup just 241 days away. The pressure and the promise keep rising for the U.S. men's national team. Fresh off one of their best performances under Mauricio Pochettino, Christian Pulisic and company face a new challenge tonight in World Cup-bound Australia. The countdown to 2026 is on. You're watching the AT&T pregame show. Welcome inside Dick's Sporting Goods Park, just outside of Denver, Colorado. I'm Katie Witham, alongside former U.S. greats DeMarcus Beasley, Brian Dunseth, and Kyle Martino, who will be on the call when this one kicks off tonight. Gentlemen, the U.S. were last in action on Friday night, a gritty 1-1 draw.
Already out of the
Are
gate.
the shots already fired?
Wow.
We're like 30 seconds in.
Both of y'all wrote that?
Is that inaccurate?
No, it's
In the hair category, yeah, for sure.
That is true.
I'll keep
Great
that.
hair.
You can have that one.
All right, let's try to stay on track. U.S. last in action, guys, on Friday night. It was a gritty 1-1 draw against Ecuador. What impressed you the most, Kyle, about that performance?
I mean, honestly, the fact that it was as close to a consistent and complete performance as we've seen. You know, there were moments they can improve, absolutely. But when it comes to what we've talked about all along, guys, just a competitive spirit to be hard to play against, closing down, being tough to play between, wingers starting in high positions, playing well out of the back. I thought Tessman and Morris were very strong as a double pivot. Balogun was excellent. Just all of that was there rather than for 20 or 30 minutes, Bees. All of that was there for the most game. And this is just a class play by their world-class striker.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there was a lot to like in that game against Ecuador. I thought another thing that I really liked was the ability to win the ball in their half after counter-pressing. I thought that was really, really good. And they became a team that was hard to beat again. We haven't seen that in a lot of the last, couple months, the last international windows. We haven't seen the U.S. team be a team that is difficult to beat. So it was great to see that. I also thought the combination between McKinney and Tillman, they got in good spots, finding it. They were dangerous against Ecuador in different moments, being able to feed Balogun sometimes with his opportunities. But no, a lot to like, a lot more pluses and minuses for sure.
I think I go back to the second half against Korea, the transition to the back three, the performance against Japan, and then building momentum going forward. And I think one of the fascinating things that we were talking about is different styles of play when we're looking at Korea Republic and we're looking at Japan versus Ecuador, and tonight against Australia, two teams that almost invite you into a sense of feeling so comfortable and so confident in possession, all of a sudden smack you in the face in a transition moment. So all of these little data points are really, really important. And I agree with you, as close to a complete performance without the idea of winning the game after the end of 90 minutes, but plenty to build on and a great opportunity tonight.
Well, let's get into it. This is the first meeting between these two sides in 15 years. Pochettino hinted at some changes to the starting 11. Dunny, let's take a look at our AT&T starting 11. What do you see?
Yeah, 6 changes overall. Mark McKenzie, who's played 7 matches for Toulouse, is on that left-hand side of a back three. Christian Roldan, James Sands have never started a match in the central part of the midfield together. Sands, he's been fantastic in 6 Bundesliga matches for St. Pauli. His first start since 2023 Gold Cup semifinal against Panama. Weston McKennie, Christian Pulisic sit in that pocket as a hybrid of dual tens. But Haji Wright, 8 goals and 9 appearances so far for Coventry City. Just his 5th start, his last goal coming in the Gold Cup against Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, you talked about the lineup change, the formation shift to the back three. I want to dig a little bit more into that, Dunny. When you look at the 3 that get the nod here tonight, let's start with Mark McKenzie. What an opportunity for this kid.
In prime of his career, and the move to Toulouse, playing specific, and these 3 players in a 3-back formation for their respective domestic clubs. They'll play on that left-hand side. We've seen him play in the center as well as the right. I think we're still waiting to figure out, in an idea of these back 3, who is most comfortable with the ball at his feet in the central position of the back 3. But for Mark McKenzie, it's a great opportunity, and one that I think he's been chomping at the bit, waiting for his chance to get the start, in particular with Chris Richards and Miles Robinson.
I mean, look, this is his chance. And the idea with the center backs and fighting for positions, fighting to get into that World Cup squad, this is one of the last chances that you're going to get, because they're playing well for their country, but they still have other center backs, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Miles Robinson. They still have other center backs that are ahead of them in the pecking order if you look at it right now. So this is a huge game for Mark McKenzie, and obviously a huge game for Miles Robinson. I like this player. I really like how he plays. He's aggressive. He knows when to step in, when not to. He's a very intelligent defender as well. He doesn't dive in. I'm a guy that dislikes defenders that go to the ground so easily. If there's going to be a cross, they like to slide tackle and they get beat. But he's a guy that stands up. He likes defending, and it looks like he's enjoying his time right now with the U.S. men's national team.
Miles Robinson making his third start in 2025, his second straight for the U.S. Let's get into Chris Richardson. Kyle, what do you want to see from Chris Richards tonight?
What we've seen lately, leadership. People could be very nitpicky and be critical of maybe spinning the wrong way and not catching up with Valencia last game. I think that is very nitpicky. This is a player that even when he's not wearing the armband is around the team, on and off the field, holding everyone accountable. I mean, to me, I love Reem. He's a veteran. He's been wonderful for this team. This is the number one player on the back line for the U.S. right now, and I can't wait to see this back three together. As we said, it hasn't happened often. Back three they're very comfortable in. And now we see this is a different look, not having Reem next to Richards, and I think he's going to thrive in it.
I think coming out of the Gold Cup, the biggest benefactors were Diego Luna and Malik Tillman on the offensive side. But for me, Chris Richards, it was an opportunity for him to showcase his leadership, how vocal he needed to be, the non-negotiables in terms of what he wanted to see. And I think he's been a fantastic leader in stepping in front of the press and constantly conveying about who the U.S. team wants to be. This is his opportunity. And again, we go back to the conversation we had a couple of days ago down in Austin. A lot of us were projecting both Miles Robinson and Chris Richards starters at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Miles Robinson made it very clear he understands the jeopardy of time still ahead before making that World Cup roster. These two guys, it's going to be difficult to not see them in the starting
One
lineup.
thing that's interesting is way on the left, and no disrespect to Roldan and Sands, not the most experienced pair in front of that back three. And Weah moving into a different position. So it's going to be interesting because this is a team that they're playing against today, as Dunny said. They're going to have a lot of time on the ball. It's going to be in those little switches in transition that we see what they're capable of. You can get lulled to sleep a little bit, feeling comfortable being on the ball, and Australia will be fine with that this game.
No, I agree. I mean, I have a question. Do you see Tim Weah being more as a wingback more than a winger? Because it seems like Pochettino likes him there. He's trying him out, seeing, but the one thing, like you said, is transition. Can he do it, in the other side of the box? On both sides of the ball. That's the question.
I think to your question, there's a bigger conversation and nuance about maybe the way that this coaching staff sees the ideas of U.S. international wingers. Because I think one of the benefactors of switching to this type of system is you're not just asking out-and-out wingers and competing for starting 11 spots. Now you're asking for a player with so much intelligence, a player profile of athleticism and technical ability, willingness to take players one-on-one, find himself in dangerous attacking phases of play. We just saw him score at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid the other day with a late arriving run inside the penalty area. We've seen him now on the left, we've seen him now on the right, and another opportunity for him because of what he brings to the table to prove to Mauricio Pochettino he's more than capable of playing in that wing-back position.
Well, and what I think, Bees, is based on this system, I like Weah as a winger. I like him higher up, but that's not out there right now, right? Like that, as an inverted winger, he's not going to play over the options that are there, right? And I can't wait to see Weston and Pulisic next to each other today. So for Tim, I think his best way to get in this team is less about I'm a winger, play me in those moments, because Pochettino's showing he's leaning a little bit in this tactical direction. Show that he can adapt to this system, as he has a little bit to the club level. I'm sure Tim would say, I'm a winger, I'm up there. What do you say, a false?
Yeah,
a false wingback.
False wingback. Yeah, false wingback.
Fake wing.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see how this one plays out tonight. Well, time now to bring in another member of our team, Melissa Ortiz, who caught up with Chris Richards ahead of tonight's match.
Chris, yesterday Mauricio told us that he was happy with the performance of the team and the intensity. One of the room for improvements is on the consistency. With 6 changes of starting lineup today, how will this team try to stay consistent and keep on going with the momentum from the first game?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why everybody's here. It's because they've shown at their club level, and then we're here to play for our country, to play for each other, and I think consistency won't be the issue today. I don't think there will be an issue, but I know that everybody who's starting today is ready for it.
You've openly said that you ain't treating these games as friendlies. Yeah. With that being said, apart from a win, what does this team need to do to get a result against Australia tonight?
Yeah, I mean, a good performance would also be nice. I think friendlies, of course, you want to get a win, but also you want to follow that up with a good performance. And every game is a game to kind of help us with confidence going into the World Cup. There's only 2 more windows after this until the big dance. So any chance we can, any chance that we have to step on the field and show and represent our country is it's always an honor.
Thank you, Chris. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
James Sands is in his first Pochettino camp, having last played for the U.S. in 2023, the Gold Cup semifinals against Panama. That's the longest drought of any player on the roster. A huge opportunity for him. More to come after this.